I would never allow
I've
that
done it before. I've done it before. Okay, she's back. She has internet. Let's see how this goes. Usually this time of year, I'm the one who's worried about internet because when I'm down in Florida, there's a lot of storms. So
I've never lost internet except in a snowstorm or when my landscaper cut it by accident once.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I want to check the lawn.
No, nothing's going on. It just completely died.
Weird. Okay, weirdness. All right, but we're up and running and ready to roll. And we have like a pretty big show today. So we've got we're going to start with news, of course, and then we do have Jordan, your Berserker, aka your Berserker, joining us from empirebuilder. We are setting up our GM Farcaster Empire. So I've got a lot of things set up. I saved a couple things for the show, and then he'll also walk us through things that we probably don't even know about. So that'll be cool. And then we have our friend and resident Odyssey expert, TLDR, is going to pop in. And so this is our backgrounds.
Yeah.
make more sense at all. Although yours are not Greek.
No.
I recognize them. But I was standing next to you when you
was I supposed to go to Greece to take a photo? Come on.
Yes. Yes.
My internet was down.
By the way, my arms look amazing in this. Yeah, just a little, maybe a little manly. But yeah. So we are going to get going. Oh, and Divi too. And Divi Fly is going to join us as well. Adrian, I wasn't sure. Late night from Australia. So this is going to be awesome. And let's get rolling. We'll be back on the other side of this 41-second intro. Welcome to GM Farcaster, bringing you everything from breaking news to spicy memes to the deep lore shaping this vibrant digital community. More than just a show, GM Farcaster is your digital third space where the community connects, the stories unfold, and the culture thrives. Whether you're a daily caster or just dropping by, we've got the latest buzz to keep you plugged in. So grab your coffee and let's dive in with your hosts, Manish Prof and Adrian, for another episode of GM Farcaster. GM Farcaster. It is Wednesday, July 22nd, and you are here with Manish Prof and Adrian for 29 minutes of Farcaster news to start your day. Plus, we have guests today. We have Jordan and Adrian, aka your Berserker and Divi Fly, coming in to chat about Empire Builder, and then we also have TLDR popping in to give us a little review of the Odyssey. So anyway, it's not like I did make a comment about your background, but it's not like the Odyssey's cast was great. I know. The level of people going crazy about authenticity about a work of fiction is really amusing. like you guys understand that some of this stuff, the Cyclops is not real either. I'm sorry to break it to everybody, but anyway, but we're gonna chat about that, and it'll be really fun. So anyway, but let's get started with some news, and we are going to start with some what we like to call the national news. Morning Minute: the Clarity Act has new life. Odds of the Clarity Act passing in 2026 jumped to 42%. By the way, that's down. I think at one point it was like at 60 something. And I know this because I've had this freaking bet on Polymarket since I don't even know when, last year. After a surprising new development from the White House. It's not that surprising. They just agreed on some ethics terms. So that's where we're at with this. But the thing is, there's been certain points of like, it gets harder and harder if you don't get it done. And the first one was before they took a summer break, which was before July 4th. And that I personally said, if it didn't get done by May, I didn't think it was going to get done. The next point is before the August recess. After that, it is incredibly odds will jump to next to zero if it doesn't get done before the August recess, because the focus is going to be all on elections and midterms. Right. So this is the last chance of this getting through in this term. and it will get increasingly harder. So we'll see. But if you're not following Eleanor Trennett over on Twitter, I recommend you do if you have an interest in this. She has been great for updates, and Decrypt is pretty good too for quick news. And then this also from Decrypt. Pavel Durov wants to give billion Telegram users a crypto wallet. The promise of instant zero-fee crypto transactions for over a billion Telegram users sent its native Gram token up 7%. I think I mentioned this last week, I believe, in my rant regarding social being not useful to crypto and not necessary. I believe I said, hey, both Elon and Telegram are trying to add wallets to their social platforms, and hello, here we are. So yeah, it's almost like it's useful in social platforms. Weirdness. Listen up, FaceApp. Hey, Kobe, we're talking to you, buddy. Now, I guess it's you now, buddy. So pay attention. In weird international news, I don't know if you saw this.
I didn't.
You didn't? Oh,
no,
okay.
I saw it.
Oh, you did? Oh, I thought you said you didn't. Because I'm curious to see what you think. This is from Balaji. I am pleased to announce that a memorandum of understanding has been signed between the Republic of Kazakhstan and the Network School. Our new campus will become a haven for global techno optimism with expedited visas, streamlined redomiciliation, and active recruitment of talent. So, okay, there we go.
It's yeah, very interesting. I mean, listen, it's like when the concept of the network state, right, which is kind of becoming digital first, but then meeting the world of traditional state,
Right.
will be interesting. I
Right.
guess they got kicked out of Malaysia.
Apparently. I'm
And
guessing that's what happened. I don't know if it was a choice or if it was a kicked out. I'm not sure which it was, but yeah, interesting. But it's such a culturally different location, climate very different, like many
Yeah.
things very different, that I think it's going to be interesting to see who ports over to the new location.
I'm signing up. Hi.
You're down. You're down for
Yeah,
Kazakhstan.
totally.
Well, yeah, isn't that right near Mongolia?
It's neighbors. And last
Neighbors.
fall, my last Mongolia trip, we were hanging out with the Kazakh nomads in Mongolia. So like, I'm down with the horse riding, eagle hunting. I don't know how they're going to handle the winters. I don't know what the infrastructure is in the cities. And
yeah, I have no idea. It just seems very. It's just an interesting choice, and I'm assuming there were some financial incentives to do this. Obviously, interesting. So
yeah,
the experiment continues.
I mean, he's built something big enough that you can sit down with, let's say, heads of states to negotiate. Right. And yeah.
There's zero chance you're getting me there in the winter. And like, I was seriously considering like Singapore and like maybe, and like, that's interesting. That climate works for me. Like I would, possibly go check it out for, we were talking like a week or two, not like a permanent resettlement. I don't know about this one. Definitely
we got to check in. We got to check in with our friends who work at,
yeah, we should probably try and get somebody on here to talk about it. If they're, first of all, to find out if they're moving over and to talk more about what's going on there. Cause it is I find the whole experiment incredibly interesting. So if nothing else, we've been trying to get Balaji on here, but we might need to make another attempt. If you're listening, Balaji, we'd love you to pop in and hear what you've got going on. One thing I did not pull, I saw it this morning and I'm like, oh, I should really pull that. And then I dropped it in the design channel, but I didn't pull it. So just in national news, and just a side note, you could see I casted it this morning. Coca-Cola is changing some branding, and it looks like any cigarette brand from the 70s. It's like some people are saying Marlboro, but it's not exactly. It's kind of more. It's kind of Winston, but it has that same kind of font. And just I think they're leaning into Fridge Sig personally, because some people are like, it was an accident. I'm like, it's definitely not an accident. Like, there's no way somebody made a mistake about this because somebody was doing it on purpose. Anyway, just side note, branding thing, forgot to pull it, national news, and now we move on. So go check that out just because it's fascinating, especially if you're of a certain age, and that age being mine. Moving on. This from the Farcaster Intern, what the devs are working on this week. Clanker, getting V5 ready to roll out next week. So that we did have a question Monday about when it was rolling out. We didn't know the answer, but the scheduled time is next week, and there will be a lot of activity around that. So be on the lookout, and we're hoping to get Quasia on here to chat more about that, aka Arthur, to chat about V5. So hopefully we can make that happen next week. So Clanker V5 ready to roll out next week, and wrapping the security audit plus better wash trading detection protocol. Blocks going live on Snapchain, blocks being the block at the protocol level, as in blocking accounts. Live on Snapchain next Monday, July 27th, and iterating on the channel's FIP based on community feedback. Wallet adding Robinhood chain, that is live now. Swaps live on mobile, rolling out on web and activity feeds, refining limit orders, and smarter trade routing for better prices. By the way, I found that to be the easiest way to buy anything on Robinhood chain, was to just literally just buy it with my base USDC. The swap was happening in the background. So fantastic. Feed quality, rolling the NANAR score out across replies, notifications, search, and channel member list to replace old spam labels. Notifications fixed why a chunk of Android users weren't getting pushes, stale delivery tokens, shipped in the new version and added delivery dashboards, mini apps, dropping the new tab and putting your apps front and center so your apps are easier to get to. That's been a big request. Snaps, more feed visibility and design improvements. Known issues we're working on, not an exhaustive list, just what the intern has seen the most of. Sign in. Some people are still getting logged out of the app on their own, mostly fixed, chasing the last few cases. Notifications, some Android users weren't getting push notifications. Fixes out, just open the app once and get them flowing. Wallet, a few token display issues, wrong balance, missing gas info, or the same transaction showing twice in your activity. Trouble buying storage. You get a confusing not enough gas message. Feeds and threads. Some threads showing an error instead of loading. Conversations with mini app in them break when you're logged out. Replies sometimes don't show on a thread with no show more replies button. Search sometimes misses posts it clearly should find. Snaps. The snap tab icon looks different on web versus mobile, and a snap can show up more than once on a profile. Current mobile version v2.1.12.559. What did I miss? If you're missing something from this list, go add it and tag the Farcaster Intern if you find a bug. And then this is what the intern is working on this week. Someone pointed out that I've been making casts about what the devs are working on, but not what I'm working on. Oops. Clanker, getting V5 out the door, ships next week. Marcom, marketing and comms, working with partners. Making the Clanker bot smarter and more functional, tweaking the prompt and light coding. Farcaster, revamping all the Farcaster resource docs and writing a full Farcaster settings explainer. Creating guides, resources to make building more accessible, working on standardizing categories across features, mini apps, starter packs, channels, etc. Communications and marketing, running this account and NANAR and Clanker on both FC and X. Partners and builders, DevRel, meetings with Clanker and Farcaster builders / partners. Community and feedback in the feed, replies and DCs every day. And that's a lot. That's a lot. I don't want to see the notifications in your inbox just based on my inbox. Tracking bugs and bug reports, collecting and synthesizing your feedback into what we build next. What else needs my attention? So again, reply here if you think the intern is missing something. The intern is very responsive. We appreciate the intern.
I wonder how many agents the intern has working for them.
It's a good question.
How do you get all this done?
That's an excellent question. Intern, if you know, I don't know if the intern's not awake yet. it's very early where they are. But yeah, we know
Maybe.
you listen back, so let us know. Are you using agents? How are you using them? Let us know. We're curious. We are curious folk. Couple other things in my little news category. This was from Anomali.eth. I joined Farcaster in February 2024, like many others. 2024 was the social casino before we called it that. Degen, frames, moxie, chaos, but magic. 2025 made it explicit: clanker, coins, trading, speculation. 2026 feels like a hangover, feels like the hangover. But maybe hangovers are where real communities show up and eat pizza and drink Gatorade. I'm just adding my own commentary there. And then this from Tiny Rainboot. This was a little copy pasta that started floating about. Farcaster feels like the backyard of the internet, cozy, close to home. You can be weird there. It's kind of public, but not too much. All your friends just come over and throw something on the grill. There are always dogs running around. It's nice. And there are hot dogs on the grill, and you can log them. So there's that.
And earn money.
And earn money while doing so. Back to the casino. All right, moving on to our builders. I want to point this out. Clanker Ecosystem Fund. We have, we're going to be doing our next round. It's coming up next week. And we've been collecting data. We got our list. We're checking it twice. And then this is the website. So you can go to gmfarcaster.com/CEF. And you will find all the information about what we've already awarded, the projects that are funded, the different rounds, as well as the Creator Sprint. So if you're following along with the Creator Sprint and want to see what people are publishing, we've got essays, we've got videos, and they'll all be collected on this page. So if you've missed anything, you can find it here. Only a few have already published, but more are coming soon. A lot of folks are waiting for V5 to make sure they didn't miss anything. But right now, we do have some really good ones out there. Clanker, I hardly know her, is a Clanker 101. So if you're brand new to Clanker, that's a great place to start, as is Clanker ran on Farcaster's Feelings. That's another good place to start. So those are kind of looking at where we've been, where we are, but not necessarily where we're going. And then where we're going, if you take a look at that, you'll get walking through what's coming in Clanker V5. So this is the first place where you can get a little preview of what's coming next week from Tiny Rainboot. And then from Los Fomos, how we crowdfund on Farcaster today. And they talk about their crowdfunding experience as well as what they might do differently. So, and related to Clanker. So there you go. So go take a look at those. And thank you to Depressive Hacks, Nikki Sapp, Tiny Rainboot, and Los Fomos so far who have participated in the Creator Sprint. Anything else you want to say about CEF before I move on, Adrian?
I guess just a reminder, we have the CEF channel. So if there are projects, clankers, people you think should be on our radar, share in the CEF channel because we will read through those. And the first month was a big month, last month a little smaller, probably expect a smaller one this month as well. Summer tends to slow down. I think some people are also waiting for V5 to pick up activity. So this will be a little bit smaller, but we'll continue. And we are super excited and honored and happy to be, rewarding people building on Clanker and Farcaster.
And we have some good folks that are in the mix. So we're excited for the next round. All right, moving on. This from Zal. ZM teaming up with Nounish Prof on something out of the Zaval Games world. The whole idea of Zaval Games is simple. Take a real idea, sit down, and build it in public. Out loud, rough, shaped by the room as it goes, no pitch, no polish, just the actual work. That is exactly what we are doing. Come sit in, bring questions, and watch an idea turn into a real thing. 4 p.m. today, we are doing this. Zaval Games with a Z.com/live. And I have zero idea about what we're building. So if you guys have any questions, this would be a great time to throw them in the chat because I have no idea what we're going to do. So it'll be fun.
Do you have any idea what the parameters are? Like, do you need ideas of?
Blank slate right at this moment. So we'll see what I think Zal has some ideas, but I don't know. We're going to just roll. We're going to run. We're going to roll.
I have
It's gonna be
ideas. I
fun.
have ideas for you if you need.
Okay, fantastic. Drop 'em. You know where to drop them to me. Yeah, I no ideas. So I'm open to thoughts. Moving on. This from Emo. Your casts on Farcaster have been sitting idle. How do you make money from it? Re-auction is here to solve that. Cast collectibles represent viral posts, memorable takes, milestone announcements, and pieces of Farcaster history. With re-auction, you can buy, sell, or auction your collectibles on the secondary market. Buy, sell, auction, reauction.xyz, and there is a little mini app. So there you go. So very cool. Yeah, fun. Very fun. Go check it out. And moving on, we have this from Kenny. Congratulations, Kenny. Come on. Come on, you can do it. All right, one of my proudest accomplishments as a founder. When you search POIDH, he comes out first, above the Urban Dictionary. So it's very, very happy about that. So there you go. Yeah, so that was kind of cool.
If you search GM Farcaster, guess who the #1 search result is?
Shut up. Better be us.
It's us.
If you search
not a lot of
Farcaster,
competition.
I don't know if it's changed, but for a while, if you searched Farcaster, we were the #1 search.
No. Oh, I think that has changed.
Probably has changed, but there was a time. There was a time where we came up above
That's
Farcaster.
amazing.
Yeah. It was a brief moment in time. This from Betterment. Betterment has been dropping the Clankerverse pieces into their rounds, and this one is by Miguel Garest. Today's Betterment feature, I think it's still going, is I'm Tired Boss by the talented Miguel Garest. Collect editions for $1 to support their art and spin the neon flywheel to win up to 100x back in prizes, and it is animated. So let me just pull it up so you guys can see, because it's cute. There he is. Go check it out, and go check out all the artists that have been featured from the Clankerverse competition. There's like 25, 6, 7, something like that. It's like crazy. And he's rolling out one every day. So go check it out. I've been buying them up because they've been really cute. That one was, I think, my favorite. This from, speaking of artists, this from Luciano. Kismet has done over 1 ETH, 2K USD in total volume, in total sales volume, earning artists a total of 0.52 ETH and the platform 0.49 ETH. Thank you to everyone who has both minted and collected artwork on Kismet. We are just getting started. So they've been dropping some really fun art as well. Go check out Kismet. Amazing. And this from Chris Co-Created. Things are loading, but they're loading slowly. Sorry, folks. One moment, please. Join us on the sofa tomorrow, which is today, at its new time of 11:30 Eastern. We'll be discussing the best curated casts of the past week. Vote for them and register in the mini app. So if you want to get on the sofa, go register, go vote, and jump into the community call today at 11:30 ET. So lots of things going on. I believe the rest of my stuff is related to Empire Builder. So hold on one second while we adjust, because I do see that our friends are hanging out in the green room. So let me just get that ready, because I think the next cast I had related to them and they might have something to say about it. So let me get that set up. Adrian, before I do that, anything I may have missed before we move on? Oh,
nope.
There was one more thing. Oh, hold on. There was one more thing before I go to your Berserker. Oh, that's what it was. Okay. Never mind. That was not Empire Builder. It was this, because your Berserker was shouting out Sofa. That's why that one was next. Are you looking to find the finest human curated signal on Farcaster? Head over to the Sofa. Want to hang out and converse with a bunch of delightful socialites. Sofalites, like socialites, but more philosophical. Then hop on the sofa live call at the new weekly time, 11:30 Eastern today. That was really cute. And this from Compreni. This is what I had next. I forgot about this. This is interesting. Introducing Rug Club, rugclub.xyz or at Rug Club on Farcaster. Rug Club is a protocol that launches one new coin each day. Every 24 hours, the previous coin's liquidity is rugged and used to buy up the new coin at launch. You can claim the new coin as long as you committed yesterday's coin. Committing protects you from being rugged and can only be performed prior to the rug. If you're copy trading, uninformed, or otherwise lazy and do not commit your tokens in time, you get rugged. If you forget to claim before the next coin launches, you get rugged. Getting rugged means the value of your old coin goes to zero and you get none of the new coin. Those that commit their coins split the proceeds from those that get rugged. This is how participants make money. It's less about number go up, it still can, and more about showing up each day and participating. So really a different approach, kind of fun. Consecutive days of participation build a streak. Your streak increases the weight of your vote on what the next coin, name, ticker, image will be. The formula for vote weight is streak X committed tokens. Additionally, holders with 0.1% of the supply can propose names, tickers, images to vote on this. This threshold may change in the future. Trading fees are 0 after the first minute. Sniper tax. My goal is to make money playing the game just like you. Good luck and happy rugging. So, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of iterations to this, but interesting. If there was, God, I'm trying to remember the name of it right now, and I'm blanking on purpose because that I'm having PTSD. I think I got rid of the app. There was an app from a while ago that was similar to this, and was it Yapper? I think it was Yapper. I could be wrong. Somebody remind me. And it was by, oh my God, I'm forgetting his name. I'm having a complete senior moment.
We need Warpy.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, sorry to the person from Nouns whose name I cannot remember at this moment. But it was mostly on Solana, and a lot of people were getting like rugged. But it was interesting because you could vote on the meme and what was next, et cetera. So it had that kind of component to it. So it kind of reminds me of that. And then this also from Comprene that relates to this, and it is that Farcaster eats first. It shows up. There we go. Farcaster now rugs first. So more importantly. So on the detection thing, this is from Trisol. Farcaster no longer eats first. Hoodie was launched via tweet to banker, which is exactly how and why it ripped. And this is why I brought Deployer into the fray. Impossible without his own defection here. It's sad, but true sea change. And then Compreni said, more importantly, Farcaster now rugs first. So that's the Rug Club. So DYOR, NFA, all the things. It's a game. You might lose money. These are memes. So please just remember that, all those things. But also it looks kind of fun, something different, something fun. So if you're interested, go check it out. If you're a DGen or a part-time DGen like me or whatever.
Did you get in?
I did. I have to go back and check what's going on, and I did vote. And yeah, I'm going to play around with it because why not? Why not? All right, now let's bring up Adrian, the other Adrian, and Jordan, your Berserker. You're Berserker with the hoodie.
This is my Aragorn entrance.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Perfect. And the mug. The mug is mwah. Perfection. Perfection. I love it. I love it. So excited to have you both here with us today. I played around with Empire Builder before with small empires, like little, tokens that I had launched and things like that. But hadn't done too much with it. And we hadn't set up one for GM Farcaster. So last night I spent some time, started setting up GM Farcaster's empire, and we're going to talk through that. But before we do that, you guys did a little something overnight that I wasn't expecting. So before we do that, let's talk about this. I'm going to read this and then you can explain more to us, because this is from you, Divyfly. Introducing Channel Hubs, the all-in-one community snap to pin to the top of your channel. View your channel engagement leaderboards, deploy an audited channel, a reward treasury, and create info panels to guide newcomers, all powered by Empire Builder. So what is this all about? And what's like the best use cases? Like what was your thinking here when you built this?
I think the thinking was we met with Farcaster Intern and Arthur Quasia, right? The other day, and we were chatting channels. I don't know, like we just got sidetracked from the initial discussion and ended up talking about
No
channels.
idea how that happened.
And exactly. And yeah, and I was saying like, you know, like we should have a snap, like a default snap that just is like a channel snap. And I'm like, well, why not also have it be an empire? So I just sort of built that myself. So now you can just launch a tokenless empire for your channel. It will populate the leaderboard in there. I can give a demo later if we have time, but yeah, that's it. So yeah, just a fun little tool. Like literally just like, you know, got Claude code onto it, and yeah, that's what it spat out. So
awesome.
Just the V1.
Awesome. So did you set this up in your Empire Builder channel? Because you also have a new channel there.
I was going to do it, but Jordan said, let's wait until GM Farcaster and see if we can do it live. Exactly.
Perfect. So, let's do that live. But let me read this first, because this was also something you guys did yesterday in preparation for this.
We don't like to show up empty-handed. You know?
I appreciate that. I'm like looking this morning to make sure I didn't miss anything, and I'm like, oh, okay, we got stuff. I got to add this. So this is from Berserker. Hello and welcome to our new Empire Builder channel. Don't worry, we haven't forgotten about good old GlonkyBot, Clanker, or the Clanker channel. We've still got plans for him, and Divvyfly has been cooking on him behind the scenes too. But it's time for our main channel to become better aligned with what we're building, especially with some fun and exciting things about to roll out to better support builders and creators as we all grow dreams into empires together. Get ready for the next episode of GM Farcaster, where we'll be joining Nanish Prop and Adrian as they launch a tokenless empire for GM Farcaster. We'll be talking empire. We may have a few more things to show off too. And here are the things. Thanks for all your support on this journey. This is an easy road, but it's a good one. And it's the one we believe in. And I love that. And I think, why don't we show off hubs first and then switch, or what order would you want to do? Either is fine to us. But I was thinking, like, do you want to set up the hubs and show folks that first, and then we'll jump into Empire?
Yeah, sure. We can do that.
You
want to share, or do you want me to?
I think you need to share because you're the master.
I'll try to say Divvyfly.
Master of the channel.
Yeah, say Divvyfly so we don't get the Adrians confused, because Adrian's like, what am I sharing? I'm not involved.
Places with other Jordans, and it's just like, you know, you get whiplash and it hurts. Okay. Let me share my screen then.
Yeah, as soon as you get it shared, I'll add it to the stage.
Yeah. It's also gated, so only the moderator of the channel can actually create it at the start. So
you can see my screen, yeah?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Perfect.
There we go. Yeah.
All right. Sweet. Oh, we've got notifications now. So I'm here in our new Empire Builder channel. If you're not yet a follower, come on by and follow. But this is also a great place where you can come and just find the snap if you want to do this yourself. Let's see. Oh yeah, the Empire Builder here will just automatically click on the link and it'll pop up the whole mini app, awesome. Of course. So that's fun and helpful. And you can get like the full functionality through the app there. If you have questions about any of this stuff, write Divvyfly or myself, and we'll get back to you. And Divvyfly's made it all pretty simple. Click Get Started, and it's going to pop up all of the different channels that you are a owner or moderator of. So I'm going to go to the
Mine's going to be very, very long.
Yeah. I've got a couple.
Yeah, yours isn't too bad. That's not too bad.
It's not bad. So I'm going to go to the Empire Builder here. I'm going to click on that. And now create a channel hub for Empire Builder, ? This deploys a community treasury vault seated with the channel's name, image, and a channel activity leaderboard. Create hub. It's that complicated. There we go.
Wow.
Hey.
Cool.
Wow, look at that. So then from here, you can share it. You can also click the mini app button here, and it's going to, again, pop up the mini app loaded directly to that channel empire you just created. So you can,
cool.
There we go. You can like do your empire stuff in there, but you can also go click View Hub. And now this is where it's going to show that information, the stats, this kind of thing. once you've
So
done,
this is now creating the treasury for the channel is a treasury in the Empire Builder mini app. Is that
yes, and
you're
it's
doing
a
it
treasury for the
Wow.
channel.
That's
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah, and without even launching it, like without launching a token or anything like that.
So do
So-
all the owners of the channel or I guess moderators, I'm not exactly sure how we have those set up. Would they all have access to the treasury, or is it just whoever set it up?
I think it's whoever's just set it up at the moment.
Okay.
Like, but I can change that. It
I'm
launched.
just curious. Yeah.
No, it's a really good question, and this
That's
is
it.
why I wanted DiviFly to be on the call. I'm
Yeah.
like, there's gonna be technical questions, and you get to answer them. So, meanwhile, like this is like the quick snap interface, and then here is the more in-depth Empire for the channel. And so from in here,
No, continue. Sorry. Oh, there's one more
worries.
thing.
So then it has all the same functionality as an Empire.
Exactly. And so from here, I can look at the leaderboard, this initial leaderboard it launches with, and you can see that this is a leaderboard that's looking at social actions.
Very cool.
So it's looking at the top contributors in the Empire Builder channel over the last 30 days. Now, since I'm one of the few people who can cast in there, I'm adding other people as members who can cast too. And Zal and Jub or Jub, I don't know how you pronounce his name.
Jub. I say Jub, but I really don't know. Yeah, that's a good question.
DiviFly, as an Australian, how would you say this? Because he's also Australian.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's not Australian, he's actually British, but he lives right next door to me, and I met him like multiple times. And he says it's Jub. Yeah,
perfect. Thank you.
Jub.
Okay, we that's official. That's like a GM Farcaster breaking news.
Jub. Like Jeff. There you go.
So here we go. So right in here, we can see the people who I've approved and who have made casts. So that's why I have 3 active casters in the channel. And then this is where I could come in and I could add different boosters. Right now, we just have the reputation score and ethos score, whichever's higher. And then I can, put funds into the treasury, and I can add other tokens. After, if we have time, Prof, I'll get you to add the Clanker token into your treasury so that I can give you some Clanker and we can give it away.
Awesome.
But yeah, so then
And,
the other cool thing here is the info section.
Info one. Yeah, that's what I
this is where you can actually add information about what your channel is. So, panel heading, body text, image URL, and then background stuff, preview it. And then you can make basically a bunch of info panels about your project or your channel. And this is why once you've pinned that into your cast, you can click through it. DiviFly, do you have one built out that we can show?
No. I mean, not
it literally launched sometime in the past, 6 hours or something.
Yeah. So that's okay. So if
I literally woke up and saw it. I'm like, what is this?
And you can see how it auto-filled the PFP and it pulled from the description for the channel. And then I could come in here because I'm the guardian. I could come in, click manage, and then I could add other people. And one of the features since we last talked, I think that you guys haven't seen, is we made it so you can do multi-sig.
Yes, I saw you post about that. Yeah, which is cool. Yeah,
and so we can talk about this more, but let's get back to
that's very cool. Very cool. And I started smiling halfway through that. It's like, I'm going to go create an Empire for the Love Island channel just because, why the heck not? So
have fun. I'm going to get sidetracked for a brief moment because I know we're going to try to keep time tight, but have fun and delight people and do cool experiments and make NFTs, make NFTs that are for your channel or your community. Have fun, be silly, send them out, do fun stuff for your people. Delight. And so
especially for me, this even feels like some channels are brands, some channels are projects, and some channels are just fun topics. And I feel like this is actually better for those type of channels. Even, you know what I mean? Just funny, silly, but you have communities that show up every day. This would have been perfect for the football channel during World Cup, that, it's probably a little late now, but not really. They continue on. But something like that to me, that seems like a great fit, a perfect thing for they're a community. They're not necessarily a project. They don't necessarily have an empire otherwise, because, you know, it just doesn't make sense. For that, like, to me, this is very cool. Like, that is a lot of fun, where people could be rewarding the activity in that channel, which drives more activity. So very cool.
Yeah.
Love
I
it.
bought a ton of those World Cup official NFTs that are super cheap, so that I can just like randomly give them away. So, you know, I might distribute them to like your channel later or
I
something.
love that.
Like just
I love
randomly
that.
give a bunch away.
That's so fun. Super fun. I love that. All right, let's dive in to what we have been working on. Let me bring up, I'm going to bring it up as the website, just because I think you can see it a little better, but I actually have it, I was doing it through the mini app. So I was setting everything up through the mini app. So actually I'll start there. So I set up a lot of, so I don't know where to start here. So if you want to create an empire, you just click create, and then you have different options. So I'll just pull that up just so people can see it. You have like a new token if you're launching a token empire, and then you have like the existing token if you already have a token, or go tokenless. So for us, we do not have a GM Farcaster token yet. We have been holding off. This is almost 3 years now, and we'll see. You know, we're exploring a token. To use
we have
terminology from Jesse.
Talk to you about later as well.
Yeah.
But.
So we're exploring options. So we went with go tokenless. So you do not need to have a token already for your empire, which has changed. That's new, slightly new. It's been a few months. So we went with that. And then if you have your empires already set up, you can go to your dashboard and find your empire. So a lot of this is very intuitive. It's super easy to find this information. It also gives you ranking, all these fun things, rewards distributed, very cool. Lots of fun things. So if we go to the GM Farcaster Empire, we did add a little bit to the treasury. That's all word a day right now. And we are gonna do something with that in a little bit. And I set up one leaderboard. I want to set up another one. And so one of the things I noticed as I was doing this, you guys have some parameters in there for like what's free and then how you can add on to it. So do you want to talk a little bit about that real quick? And then I'll get ready to add something new.
Yeah, we added in, like, so we've always had our native empires who launch through us, and our, you know, empires that have an existing token and attach on. And the thing is, we want to give some benefit for the people that sort of believe in us and sort of actually launch their token through us, right? And, you know, we decided like, yeah, we can give them some extra boosters, some extra leaderboards, some extra functionality in the app. And then, yeah, if other people want that extra functionality as well, they can, you know, pay $1 or pay $2 per booster or something like that. I have actually boosted your allocation for leaderboards and boosters just in preparation for this. I saw that you added a few yourself.
I had already bought some.
Yeah,
we
saw that you bought some, so it's like
you already bought.
We appreciate that.
Give us some more. Like, thank you for all you've done to help support us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So because I hit the 10 limit pretty quickly.
Yeah.
On the boost.
More boost.
Like I got there real fast, and I was like, oh, I can buy another 10. Great, I'll just buy another 10. Because I know I'm going to use it. So that's funny.
Glad to hear that. Yeah.
And then you have like, so if we want to add another leaderboard, and I'm going to add a word a day leaderboard. So I'm going to add an ERC20 leaderboard. Our holders, we don't have stakers. So going to add that. So now we have the word a day, and we're going to create that. Very simple, super simple to do.
And I'd also add one of the social function leaderboards potentially for your channel.
Oh, cool. Yes. I didn't add that because our channel is mostly just Adrian and I.
Yeah.
And we're also going to be changing that a little bit, which I'll talk about in a second. I'm trying to get our hypersub kind of activated again, and this is part of it. So this this leaderboard right here is our hypersub. So if you have our GM Farcaster Cupo GMC NFT, even if it's not currently active, you are on this leaderboard. And then those who are active are also going to have some other benefits, which I'll talk about in a minute. And then we have now the word a day holders, which I'm in there twice and I don't know why. Oh, because
Different wallets.
That's weird. It's different wallets, but it's the same amount. So that's weird.
No,
Something's weird.
that's just like showing your rank because you're first.
Oh,
so
because I'm first. Okay.
That's your personal wallet.
That's
the top
hilarious.
index.
Adrian,
Yeah.
I'm higher than you. That's really funny.
And,
in your leaderboard.
I have more in another wallet. Relax. I am.
It's because of the boosters, though. It's because of the boosters, and I'll show you. So we have the boost set up, and our top boost is the hyper sub. So that's what I set as a 5x. And then I put in a whole bunch of other tokens, like our cast out token, the yak shit token. Aqueous is going to be happy about that. The Oi. I did add a couple that aren't ours. I added Bracky. I added Degen. I added Haberdashery because they were a sponsor of us. Clanker, they're a sponsor of us. And then we have like our silly tokens like Basilbug. That was Adrian's first token. Like nobody owns that, but probably me. Because I got COVID after I went to Art Basel. So she created, I should call it Basilbug, but it sounds better as Basil.
I just dropped in the chat here too, the CA for Warplets. If you want to make holding a Warplet, an NFT, a booster.
Yes.
So that's in there. And then the Clanker CA dropped in our chat too so you can add it to your treasury later and I'll give you guys some Clanker to distribute.
Awesome. That's great. And I added purple as well. And as well as our two older hyper subs that are no longer active, but I added those as 2Xs. So you can add anything that's even like not your own. Because like I didn't create purple, obviously, so you can add, I didn't create Bracky, you can add whatever. And I love what you've just
demonstrated here is how you're taking your various online experiments, fun, revenue, like different things you've created, and you're tying it all together. You're bringing your empire into one place, and you're also showing how you can collaborate or highlight other friends, other projects. So it's a beautiful use case.
Yeah, I love that. And the Warplets is a great idea. So let me go in and add that as a boost. Hold on one second. I just grabbed it. And we're going to add. So we just click add. You can do NFT or ERC20. I'm going to do NFT. I just did an ERC20 with oh no, that was adding it to a leaderboard. One thing I noticed, if you have a 1155, you have to add the token number.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't add our episodes, because we have hundreds. So I would have had to add each token number, and then we definitely were going to max out our boost very quickly. So that wasn't going to work.
Now, for an example of the episode number one that's interesting to keep things fresh is you could roll like your 3 most recent, and every time you release a new one, it goes in and boots the last one off. And that kind of helps it stay more active. And then it's really helping you find your active community.
So wait, so if I
passive.
we haven't, when pods went offline, we haven't done that yet, but I'm thinking about moving us to Tortoise. So it would just replace it?
Yeah. So what you could do is each time you do a new episode, you could put that in, and then you could take like
the other one out,
the most stale one, and
that's a good idea.
And so then people know, hey, if they're supporting you regularly, that's just gonna pop them up in the community ranking.
That's a great idea. I love that.
It's probably our most requested feature is just to allow all from the collection of ERC 1155. But the thing is, like some collections, it have like millions of tokens in them, like these old ones, right? And it would have to go through all million of them for every holder just to double check that you're not holding one of these million. And with Alchemy, it is possible theoretically, but not with current Alchemy.
Got it.
So
it would take a lot of time and money.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. So if it's 721, it's easy. Yeah. You just do it like this and add the booster, confirm it, approve, and it's adding the booster. And so now if you have a Warplet, you're now going to have a boost in here as well.
Also,
if you actually click on the Warplet now, you can now actually buy it from the app directly.
There you go.
Through OpenSea. Yeah.
And I think it's pulling only my Farcaster wallet. So that's why I'm not, because I have literally every single one of these things. So I think it's just where it's showing is what I have in my Farcaster wallet, but I do have in my other wallet as well. So I need to port some things over. Very cool.
If you were to launch a token, and there's a token leaderboard that you can make FC only, and what that'll do is it'll actually aggregate across all of the wallets you have connected to your Farcaster FID, and so that kind of allows you to again find your highest signal who also are using Farcaster, because we believe that social and crypto do go together, and that being able to find and highlight those people is beneficial for you if you're building in this space.
You think those things go together? Really? Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, just a little bit.
Could be.
That's so funny. Yeah. And I'm just moving some things around here because I just realized I added the word a day leaderboard, but I didn't add the boost. So I'm going to go in and add that boost right now. Whoops, let me move this over here. So I just went and copied the CA. So I just grabbed the CA real quick. I'm going to add the word a day boost. So I'm going to move it to ERC20, drop in the contract address. What minimum amount do you want, Adrian? What should we do? 5 million? Oh, maybe I did do this already. Did I already do this? I might have. Let's see. I think I might have already done this, but I'll do it anyway. I'll do 5 million.
I'm always like going and price checking in my like looking in. I'm like, what's like $5 worth of
Yeah, that's what I know.
5 million. 5 million is my gate for playing. Like that's
so we'll leave it that.
So makes
Nice.
sense.
Yeah. So then, and you can just go right in here and buy it now. Because it's also, so if you see it on a booster list, you can click on it and it brings you right to where you can purchase it. You can look at it in USDC, which is cool.
And it'll set it for the amount that you need. Like it'll set it for the 5 million. Yeah.
Perfect. So then if we go to buy word a day, it will give me that amazing amount. Amazing.
It's nice to be on with DiviFly because usually it's just me by myself. So now I can publicly say, he's done an amazing job with the interface and the UI and the technical building of it. And so I'm going to say thank you again to him because without him, this would not be a thing.
Ah,
very cool.
Mate. Well, without you, no one would ever see it. So,
I'm a
and this is why you're a good team.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're going to do one more thing. You gave me the CA for Clanker. I'm just grabbing it from the chat, and I'm going to show how you add that to the Treasury, because the Treasury is a whole other thing. So let's go look at the Treasury here. And that is with this little icon. And we've already added some word a day. And now we're going to add Clanker. So I'm going to enter address. Or you can select. So under select token, you have some of the common ones like, USDC or anything you already added. So I have my word a day is already in there. And then do we just add it? Do I have to add an amount? I have some.
I think you need to go to manage actually to add it. And then
oh, I was adding deposit. Yeah. Sorry.
I should change it to deposit. It's good feedback rather than add.
Actually, I'm just going to add. I'm just going to add some.
Yeah.
I'll just do that because I have some in my wallet, so why not?
Perfect.
Add some in. And then manage. Now it loads it in there, but also we could have just done manage and then authorize tokens.
Yeah, authorize tokens. Yeah.
And then we could just add it there.
Yeah.
So that was the other way to do it.
Yeah. Now it's authorized anyway.
Yeah. So because Adrian actually sent some of the word a day over and I wasn't seeing it in the Treasury and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I think I have to add some, but that's actually what I needed to do is just manage and put it there so that it could be seen. So if you're looking for like your where did they find the, oh, I guess it's under here. Wait a minute. It's under add, but also where you find the Treasury address. There you go.
Yeah.
If you need the Treasury address, because you can just send directly to your Treasury, but it may not be seen. It might be hidden unless you add the token into under manage.
That's a safety feature. And if you scroll up again to like the info for your whole empire, if you scroll up and then where's the info button there?
Oh, right here. Yeah.
Or no, on the 3 buttons.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Info.
click on
There
info.
we go.
Yeah,
There's
and this
the
is gonna give
treasury.
you your treasury address.
Yeah.
And yeah,
So
so that's
lots
like
of,
quicker than
yeah.
searching in there.
It is much quicker. Yeah, I didn't know it was hiding there, and this is why you're here with us today. I did not know
Yeah,
it was hiding there. There it is.
Yeah.
Perfect. What else have we? So one of the things we haven't done yet is distribute. So let's go to the word a day leaderboard here. So we have a couple things we can do when we want to send out some tokens, and one of them is airdrop. Is that what we want to use for this? If we want to airdrop a ERC20 token?
Yeah, you can just airdrop directly, but you want to go to the Treasury and click distribute if you want to distribute from the Treasury. That's probably the
easiest way to do that.
There's sort of multiple avenues that we've allowed. Essentially, the airdrop one, anyone can use it, but the distribute Treasury, only the Guardian can use it. Yeah.
So if we have time, I'll use the airdrop function and shoot a couple warplets out to your leaderboard as well.
Oh, cool, fun. Okay, so I think we want to do okay, so we have lots of options here.
Select your leaderboard first.
Hold on 1 second. Let me go back here. Okay, and we're going to select the leaderboard. I'm going to select the word a day holders. So we're going to do that first. And we want to do, I don't know, maybe half of what we've got here. So if I pull it down to distribute amount to 50. There we go. And do we want to do even split, or we can do weighted? What's even split and weighted by score? Tell us a little bit about what these things mean.
Even split will just be like an even split amongst the 100. So each person will get the identical amount. So if you have $100 you're distributing, each person will get 100. Will get $1. Each person will get 100. Each person will get $1. And weighted by score, it will be weighted by score. So it's not $1. So if, I don't know how to do the maths, but the computer does. So if the first person has the score of 100, the last person has a score of 1, however that works, right? The first person.
And then we can also move this down where it is, like the top 20 or something, or the top, whatever number, the top 37. There we go. So we could do it that way, or we can do random, and random is like a raffle, right?
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, essentially. A random 10 people will receive it.
Out of the top 37, something like that. Let's do that because that's fun. So I'm going to do that. So we're going to go ahead and distribute. And some of you are on here, so you might be getting something right now. Let's see. Let's see what happens.
I hopefully didn't
and there we go.
break it because I just sent you
didn't.
lot more Clanker.
Oh, doesn't look like you broke it. Doesn't look like you broke it.
I sent 69, 420, 696.
Perfect.
Clanker to you because it felt like that's, I guess.
We'll do it. I'll do it again, and I'll do it too.
No rush.
I'll do more. So Acquiesce, Yes to Crypto, JC, Cowabunga, Burr, Mike Richardson, Sean Wentz, Brad Q, Sig Wider, and Plants just all got a little something sent to their.
Look, you got a copy
addresses. Button. There you go.
You can share it to X. You can share it to Farcaster. And if you go back to your distribution, back on your main screen where it says distribution, if you click on it, it's going to show that this distribution happened. Other people can check that out, and you can click into it to get this information again if you lose it, because sometimes Farcaster hiccups or.
So we can just share. We could just share to Farcaster right here.
Right.
Let me see if that'll work.
Should work. It should come up with a little snap as well. Yeah.
There we go.
A little snap showing what happened. There you go.
Awesome. And then I can just, it already says it. It says who I distributed to. Fantastic.
It does say it, but yeah, if you want to tag them as well, that's it.
Yeah. There we go. Fun. All right. Very cool. And let me just get that back because I moved away from where I was. So one moment, please. But that is really fun.
That was a really good. You've done a really good.
I think that was a perfect demo. Yeah, I'm amazed that something didn't break. Something always breaks when people are doing live demo. Right? So this is this is the best live demo
pretty
ever.
Good.
You have a magic
the best
touch.
was 5 minutes before I did my Farcon demo when I broke something.
Yeah, I couldn't log in.
It happens. It happens. Yeah. What are you gonna do? All right, we're going to close that, and we've still got some more to distribute. I think we should distribute the rest, but let's do I'm going to do our Cupo GMC. So these are our hypersub folks, and we're going to distribute to, let's do the, I think there's not even 100. I think we could do all of them.
And this is great. Like, look how
Do
you
all
can
of
look down there and you can see the names of people and you can know
Yeah.
like who's contributing, and you can kind of, it's what I call like the tactical generosity. You know, you can look and say like, who are the people who showed up a lot and all of this, and kind of decide
Right.
where you want to make that cutoff.
And that's where the weighted can come in really handy as well.
The weighted
So,
you have to be careful
yeah.
with, because if the score discrepancy is a lot, it'll like really reward the first or top people a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So you want to be careful with
And I
that.
really should like make sure that we're not in there, but for now, we'll leave it. All right. So let me just really quick, I'm going to do one more distribution, and then we do have our friend TLDR waiting in the wings. Bracky is a booster. We did add Bracky in as a boost. So people have Bracky, they're getting a little bit. But we're going to distribute the rest of this. Let's do it.
It took Odysseus many years to get home, so it's
And
appropriate that he's waiting.
I'm going to randomly distribute. I'm just gonna put it
Why is
full.
Yes to Crypto asking for weighted? I can't.
It's weird. I don't know why. And we're going to select the Cup OGMC leaderboard. I'm going to distribute randomly to 37 addresses of our top 86, because we only have 86 here. And let's do it. Here we go. Random.
It's going to consume one transaction credit.
I know.
You
I'm
need
down.
to click distribute, not random.
And now,
Yeah, sorry.
Whoops. Sorry.
wait,
My bad.
Go back. No, you need to go back.
Nope.
Cancel
I need to go
it.
back. Okay.
Cancel it.
Cancel.
Click
Because
random.
you
Click
switched
random.
out of random.
Oh, I
Click
switched out
click
of random.
again.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
So,
this is
100.
good feeding.
So click random,
Okay.
because
Yeah,
then it'll
this
go to
way.
random mode again.
Random.
Now random
Okay.
mode's active again. So
Oh,
now you
okay.
can.
And then I click
No,
random.
no,
again.
don't click
No.
random.
Click
distribute.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
we're ready?
good feedback. I'll need to like make that a
Okay.
bit more intuitive. Yeah.
So now I'm
Distribute can be
clicking
a full
distribute,
color.
and we're
Yeah.
ready. Okay, here we go. Now we're doing
There
it.
you go.
Here we go. Approve. And we'll see what happens. Here we go. Recording distribution. Distribution
Nice.
successful. Here we go. And we have a whole bunch of our friends just got this as well.
And so you did this all through the mini app in Farcaster,
Correct.
in the social app that is Farcaster, Onchain. Also, anyone who's watching on X, Twitter, has any other kind of project, you can do all this functionality through the website, through the browser. So, you know, it's not just a Farcaster only tool. It's something that can empower any community, any project, any business that's on chain.
I'll take this out because it's not going to tag them all anyway. All right. That was awesome, though. This is really cool. And I think, oops, let me get GM Farcaster in here so I can make sure it goes in the right channel. Cool. That was a lot of fun. So we distributed our treasury thus far, but we have more to come. Don't worry. We're going to add some more word a day in there, more other tokens in there. If anyone wants to partner with us and distribute to our fabulous folks, talk to us. We'll give
this
you a
is
little
what I was
promo.
thinking as well. Yeah, like
Yeah.
you get distribution, right? To very high level followers, like the people who are your subscribers. You know, those are like really good people.
Yeah.
And so it gets access to some really good people.
Yeah. So if you want to partner with us and reward some amazing folks and get some attention on the show, let us know. We'd love to chat. Anything else before we let you go that we missed, or Adrian with an E and any
Yes, do you have
any
any
other
questions
questions?
for us?
Yeah.
There's definitely some questions in the chat. If you guys, if we don't get a chance to answer them now, I'll send them to you guys afterwards. One was
you
about,
asked if others contribute to the
can-
treasury.
Others
Yes.
can contribute. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I just did. I deposited Clanker, our Empire token, into your treasury. So that totally
Right.
works.
and
Yeah.
when distributing, can you exclude certain people if you do not want to send them, like
Yeah,
yourself?
you can.
Yes,
You can.
we can block.
You
Yeah.
can block
Okay.
your addresses from the
Sure.
leaderboard. So that's from the
Great.
leaderboard settings. Yeah, you can definitely
Yeah,
do
so
I
that.
need to
if you
go in.
have, like,
I forgot to do that, so I need to take us out of.
if you have like a big
leaderboard.
treasury wallet that's kind of holding a bunch or something like this, you can remove that.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, anyone can distribute to those leaderboards. Anyone in the community can add into the treasury. So yeah, it's a pretty cool community. So also for like distributing NFTs, you can do NFT airdrops. Anyone can do that. We have a small fee on that to kind of have like a little bit of positive friction, so it's not just a spam fest.
Yeah,
Right.
But
exactly.
also we need to try to make money somehow. So
Yeah.
you know, these kinds of things kind of try to.
So
try
I
to
didn't
help,
mind
you know.
buying the extra boosts. I'm
Yeah.
like, these
Well, I
people,
appreciate
you
it.
know,
Thank
they
you
need
for
to, yeah.
We dreamed a dream.
Yeah. Well, that was awesome. Yeah, we'll scan through and make sure any questions that we may have missed got answered, and we'll send them over to you. And we'll be doing more with our Empire coming soon.
And we're working on a lot more things that we'll keep you informed about in the future too. So
Awesome.
Thank you
All
very
right,
much for
we'll be
having
looking.
us.
We'll be paying attention.
I'll tag
And
you
we gotta
anyways,
go.
right?
We gotta go set up
Yeah.
some hubs too. So
And we
don't
got to
forget
let
that.
Divvyfly go to bed.
Yeah,
I'll
please go.
be watching for the conversation with Odyssey. I want to hear more. So I'm okay.
I love it.
it.
No, not yet. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
This has been so fun.
Cheers,
All right.
guys.
Thank you,
so
ladies.
Bye. Bye-bye. That was awesome. All right. We are going to switch gears, and I need to do.
Did you see I switched my background?
You did. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Hold on. We need the broader focus, but also I want to switch the background. We got to get full Odyssey'd, and it's necessary. So I'm going to put, hold on. I'm going to grab my background as the background. So there we go. Amazing. That was so fun. I'm excited to play around with it more. But now let's bring up TLDR to the stage. Hello, sir.
Wow.
It's been a minute.
It's your Super Bowl, Tim.
It really is.
It's the there's all these George memes going around, and I don't know if you guys watch Seinfeld. It's the summer of George.
It's a summer of TLDR.
This is everything I love.
We showed that cast on the show on Monday.
Yeah.
When we said we need to get you on here.
I'm loving it. You guys saw the film already?
No, not yet. So I am not somewhere where I want to go see it because the cinemas near me are not great. So I'm going to wait till I go home. I'm leaving Saturday. I'll be home. I have awesome, theaters near me that are comfortable and all that. So I want to wait till I get home. But I'm excited. Yeah, there is some IMAX near me. I might do the IMAX. I haven't decided. So my son already went and saw it. He saw it with his friends. Loved it. So amazing. I don't know if you've heard me talk about this. I know some people in the chat have. My son has a list. He started this at around 16. He started watching all kinds of movies, rewatching things he had watched as a kid, watching new movies, got very focused on this. He watches movies instead of scrolling TikTok sometimes. And he has a list of, I think it's at around 300 plus now of movies he's seen in the past year and a half. And so after he watches them, he ranks them. So as soon as he watches one, and he put this at number 12 on his list.
Wow.
Of all movies of all time that he's seen. So that's pretty good. He loves Christopher Nolan. So that's, I think the other ones that are above that, there's at least 2 that are Christopher Nolan that are above the 12. So what, first, before we do that, let me show a couple casts that you had shared that I wanted to talk about. So this was your initial cast, Happy Odyssey Day. Little tidbit, the ancient Greek word for homecoming, nostos, is etymologically related to the word for intellect, nous. The layers of Homer are very deep. So like you're like, I don't know if everyone's familiar with your game. Like your level of like knowledge on this. This is something like not only is an interest for you, but like you actually studied philosophy, if I remember correctly, and like this is like
I translated the Odyssey. So I studied the ancient Greek language in graduate school.
Holy cow! I didn't even know that part. Totally.
I wrote
fair.
my dissertation on Homer. So like this was my thing in my early 20s. Like Homer was probably, Homer, Plato, Aristotle, and Shakespeare were like the figures of my early 20s. I spent all my time with them.
Wow. I didn't realize that level. I had no idea. Okay. So you've actually, read this in the Greek. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So there was a couple other casts that you had mentioned some things that I thought were really interesting. One of them was around the I'll come back to that. There was, I didn't grab it. There was one around the sirens that was really cool. And I need to grab that real quick. But also you talked about the music.
Oh, the music.
And you said the use of period instruments, especially the olos, ancient Greek flute, creates something strange in some kind of familiar way, like an encountering a memory you didn't know you had. So you listened to the full soundtrack. You were on a flight or something. And so that's amazing. What, like, I didn't realize that he was incorporating like ancient like instruments too. That's very cool.
Well, and I've learned a little bit about this since then. At first you just experience it, but he sat down with the Swedish composer who's worked on like a lot. He did Oppenheimer, Göransson. He did Oppenheimer with Nolan. He's done others, and he sat down with him. And the way that they tend to work together is that they'll in Oppenheimer, for example, they looked at some sort of reference material of like the kind of musical vibe that they're creating, that they want to create, like based on other films. And he's like, I want Oppenheimer to be characterized by kind of a frenetic strings and violin, because there's this tension where it's like almost like when you're playing a violin at the higher, faster notes, it's almost this feeling that it might break, right? And so this is like the way of creating the feeling of tension, along with the characteristic themes that they make. And this, Nolan was interested in how can we, and I think you'll see this when you see the film, but there's this question of like like a world building question. Every sci-fi film, it's like, how do we, whether it's Interstellar or Doom or Dune or whatever, it's like, how do we get the audience feeling like they're in this different world? And like, usually we tend to think about world building as going into the future, but Nolan realizes that it's also super important to do this, to bring people into the material world of the Odyssey. And so he wanted to use these material instruments like the aloes, and like they had like 37 different weights of like bronze percussion that they were using. And it's blended with some synthetic elements to give like the right feel, but like you can tell that there are these earthy, strange instruments which are kind of like ones that we hear but different. You can feel that as an audience. And what it does, along with the way that he visually shot the film, where all of the shots were actually on the water, actually on a mountain, actually in an abandoned castle in Sicily, right? Hades is in Iceland when they're getting light 24 hours a day. And it's like, you can't tell if it's day or night, and everything sort of looks like a shadow, right? He was making you experience all of these natural scenes in the natural lighting. The music is doing the same sort of thing. And the effect of it is, and everybody will have their own effect, but it's beautifully composed music, like from a thematic level. But it also is just, it's such a huge part of like the world building and going inside of the world of this ancient Greek epic. And that's the thing I was excited of when I'm reading. I've read the Odyssey so many times, and I've read it. I'd say reading it in Greek watching what Nolan did reminded me of reading it in Greek versus reading translation, where it's like you're kind of connecting with some raw version of the source that's strange and familiar at the same time. And Nolan somehow, I mean, he's such a genius filmmaker that he somehow figured out how to create that same sort of vibe for me as like a visual and auditory experience. And it seems like that's landing with other people in a similar way. But it's really masterful, because when I'm reading, I don't know about other people, everybody has a different amount of visualization that they're doing when they read, right? So like, no matter what you're reading, you know, even whether it's like Tolstoy or Jane Austen or Stephen King, it's like, when you hear about this new character, like, what do you see in your mind, if anything, like, what does Mr. Darcy look like, right? Like, what is the scene? What is the scene in The Shining? You know, I wrote about this recently, but it's like, you know, Kubrick's imagination of Stephen King's The Shining novel was literally nothing like what Stephen King himself imagined. He hated Kubrick's filming of it, and even produced his own version of The Shining afterwards, which is terrible, by the way, right? There's like some some lessons in this of like,
Stephen, you're not necessarily a great filmmaker. Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah. You're a great writer.
Like, you know, the point being is that like, when you're reading the thing, everybody's experiencing not only different visualizations, right? Of what does this person or place or scene look like to you? But we're even doing different amounts of visualizing. Like when I read, I'm visualizing more, it's more abstract. I would describe it more like they're more like impressionistic paintings than they would be like photorealistic paintings. Whenever I'm
very photorealistic visualization.
I'm very impressionistic.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
there's some people who can't visualize at all, which I find mind-blowing.
Right. But in my head, Sam, I see the character so clearly in my head, like the essence of a character, like it's so clear. But if I actually try to zoom in and be like, what does their eye look like, or what are they wearing? And I can't do that, but it does come across as like fully built characters, even though they're.
Yes. I mean, how long was Odysseus's beard?
Right.
I mean, it's just like when you bring it to life, all of these material things become choices for the filmmaker. Right. And you know, some novelists have tried in an almost caricatured way to give you every detail and to paint the scene for you. But you know, in the Odyssey and in many things we read, it's like there are some brush strokes of different characteristics, but like we're filling in a lot of it ourselves. And so Nolan, you know, is doing a lot of visual material world building interpretation to bring this thing to life. And I just thought I would say, like, you know, I've been looking forward to this for 2 years. You know, I've been the moment it was announced, I've been trying to get pieces of it and talk about it. And I was actually feeling I would describe my feeling as it approached, like the day of, as I was feeling kind of nervous or anxious about actually seeing it. Because to me, I was afraid that, you know, I like Nolan a lot. He's like one of my top few favorite directors. And obviously this is my favorite text. So it's like these two things coming together is incredible. I was a bit concerned that, you know, there would be a gel man effect of, I know this text really, really, really well. And I was a little bit nervous that I was going to see what Nolan did and hate it. And it would make me dislike some of the other films of his that I love, you know, that it's almost like, but it was the opposite. You know, he exceeded my expectations of what was possible in terms of bringing this to life and making this accessible to a large audience. And
that's the true benefit here, is that most people aren't even going to read the Odyssey.
Yep.
And definitely you're in the, I don't even know, 0.00001% who've read it in the Greek.
Yeah.
So, like, you know,
Although
in
they
modern
might read
times.
it now.
In modern times.
They might read it now, and
Yeah,
people are
they might.
talking about which translation they should. I mean, that's a wonderful, like, the openness to.
As you mentioned, there was a snap. So the Farcaster intern said, which Odyssey translation should I read? And your response was, you know nothing, Jon Snow. So
yes, the results, right.
Your answer, and you said the answer is Lattimore. It's not really close. I can explain more.
Yeah.
But the answer that most people said was Emily Wilson.
Yep.
And then the other one was Robert Fitzgerald. But can we just pause for a moment and take a peek at how many people voted on this?
Love it. Exactly. I mean, this is
That's
incredible.
crazy. That's a crazy amount. I had no answer for this, so I didn't even attempt.
Yep.
But wow, like that to me says a lot about Farcaster, by the way. Like that is a lot of people answering that snap.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, the fact that this is an interesting question for people to have an opinion about, see the results, and like, regardless of where people fall on that, like even caring is an incredible leap forward, right? Where most of us were, reading passages or paraphrases of the Odyssey, or summaries of just like something in a textbook saying what it was about.
I think I read this in like 9th grade, right? Yeah. In my, I had a really amazing teacher in that particular year. But that's I could not tell you right now what translation I read and who. I have no idea. I just read what I was handed, and I can't remember. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't have any idea. But so what makes it, why did you choose Lattimore? Like what makes the difference, and why would you recommend that as somebody who is deep in this and really knows the deal?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that part of it is that when you think about, just the background is like when I was translating, right? Like when I did my translations of Homer, of course, once you do it, you're interested to then go look at what everyone else did, right? So I was constantly comparing, like when I went from the Greek to what I thought was like a faithful translation of a passage, it was always super interesting for me to be like, what did Fagles do here? What did Fitzgerald do here? What did Pope do there? And so like, this was my experience of this, and then there's Lattimore, is when you're translating, you just like a filmmaker, you're also making choices, right? Like, so Nolan has to choose things. You have 3 hours. It would take about 20 hours to speak the Odyssey, all the way through. Nolan's cutting it down to 3, right? So it's like, and then it's like visual versus, right? So he's obviously making
You can
choices.
sometimes say a lot with the visual.
Exactly. So picture's worth 1,000 words, but then like, so whatever the case, it's like obviously not a 1-for-1 translation, but it is some type of translation and interpretation for Nolan to do it. I think, it's an interesting thing to say, well, is that not what a Fitzgerald or Wilson or Lattimore is doing? Are they not doing the same sort of translating and interpreting that Nolan's doing? And to me, it's a little bit different in the sense that when you're a translator and you're saying, here is my translation of Homer, you're kind of advertising to people that like, this has like a level of faithfulness to the original thing that makes you feel like you're getting Homer, but it just happens to be in English rather than ancient Greek, right? Versus with Nolan, like we all kind of know it's going to be a different thing. And so to go back, it's like with Fagles and Fitzgerald, they're a bit more interested in trying to that this was a poem. It has a rhythm, right? And in an amount of sonorous elements to it, where it's like just like a poem, it's like the meaning and the rhythm of the words. There's a musicality to it. Fitzgerald and Fagles, which are the 2 most popular translations, it's like what most high school students would have read. They they think that it's very important to capture some sort of musicality in their translations. So a lot of their choices are a blend between let's get the meaning of this right, in what are the actual meaning of these Greek words, and let's make it what Fagles and Fitzgerald consider to be poetic. The problem is they're not good poets, right? Like you would never read Fagles' own poetry, right? And it's sort of like a bad cover song, right? So they're straying away from meaning, but they aren't very musically talented, right? So you get in what, in my opinion, is kind of a diluted and distorted version of the thing because of that concern. Lattimore is a bit more humble about his own poetic ability and sticks to establishing raw and consistent translations of the actual Greek. I think he also has a simple sort of poetic meter, which forms its own tone and is, in my opinion, even better than the poetry of the other options. But like, you're just getting a much, much more faithful translation of what the actual Greek was. Emily Wilson's like a totally different category, where there is some kind of personal or political agenda against, I think I would guess, like a great man theory of history in general, of like, we have these heroes, but these heroes were actually part of flawed, institutionalized, corrupt cultures. And I only read one page of Emily Wilson because it was so horrendous that I couldn't go any further. She clearly she makes an effort to interpret anything neutral about Odysseus to be something vicious, and anything good about Odysseus to be not of his own choosing, but somehow accidental. And it's just like when you watch somebody, if you watch a friend who like hates their ex and like the way they would interpret all of their actions and like the worst way you could possibly interpret it, it sort of feels like that. And it's just sort of like there's some kind of clear,
because it's true, Tim, because it's true.
Because it's true, right? And so actually the funny thing is that like there is,
that's really interesting.
I do think that it is true that both Odysseus and these heroes can get like whitewashed in the other direction. And so I do think that there is an interesting,
well, it's like any hero has flaws. It's not, it's very hard to find somebody who is purely heroic.
They're there in Homer, right? Like the flaws, like Nolan kind of, I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but Nolan gives a much more angelic version.
I mean, we've read the book, so it's okay. Yeah.
Yes. So, but like, in the Nolan film, like to spoil his interpretation, like he gives a much more angelic interpretation of Odysseus than is in the text. And I think Emily Wilson does something like the counterpoint to that. Like what would be like this sort of the least charitable, most vicious interpretation of Odysseus.
That's really interesting.
And they're both like, I mean, my problem with her is that she literally like she's twisting meanings in ways that's not even defensible. It's just a false translation. And I mean, there were 5 of them in the first page. But like the
really
point is that I think what is interesting about what she did, I do kind of like her dialect, and Nolan referenced it in the screenwriting, because she uses a modern, raw, down-to-earth English and like a Shakespearean iambic pentameter, which feels really natural and has a great pace. So like I actually do like the poetic quality, and it feels like it worked well for the dialogue. I also think that she offers, for someone who is under questioning of Odysseus, because again, like the core character in Lattimore's version, like you will see things where you're like, oh wow, like that's ruthless, dude. Like, did you have to go that far? Like these questions are there for him, and his heroism is there. But I think for people who kind of wash over that, her translation definitely sheds light on a facet of his character, which is that the flaws are there. So I think as like kind of as one note in a conversation around it, you know, the translation is I think can contribute to like the overall conversation. But like, if that's the only thing you're going to read, like I would like steer very, very clear of that one.
So it's like, it's good as a comparative to others, but not as the sole.
I wouldn't do it first.
Choice.
I think Lattimore is the most fair and neutral. And and it's like kind of it's the closest to the text. It's the least whitewashed. And my honest opinion is that like if I was giving this to high school kids back, I would start with Nolan in 9th grade, right? Like I would start with the film, and
it's going to be the most accessible at this point.
It's both accessible and true to the spirit of the thing. And you'll also you're finding people, even though Nolan made Odysseus angelic, more angelic, he left out some really ruthless details. Like people are still walking away of like, Odysseus is a flawed dude. Like, I don't know what I think about it. It's like, even this version, like the spirit of the question is still reaching people, which I think is like an amazing accomplishment that he could make. That, you know, he kind of knew what would be too much for a modern audience to handle, where like it would just be everybody writing off Odysseus.
Right.
But like, how do I give them the right spirit of he's a hero, but there are like real, like with any human being,
he's a flawed hero. Yeah.
Questions about that person and their character.
Adrian, did you have a question? I felt like you were jumping in. You wanted to jump in? No. All right. There is, so we do have
in after you two see it. Right?
I know. I
want to dig into like the film.
And I want to hear more. I mean, and I want you to dig into the film, but also we have somebody in the chat here. A little proxy showed up. Heard the film sucks. Emily Wilson's Odyssey isn't as bad as everyone says. There have been a lot of criticism about the film itself. Anyone that I've talked to personally who has seen it has liked it a lot. Like I said, my son, who is young but unbelievably critical about films.
Yeah.
He really liked it. Other people that I've talked to really liked it. I was really curious about your take because you know so much about it and because you have a deep understanding of the text that you to me are probably the best critic of this, because 100% if you hated it, you wouldn't have hesitated to say so. So what do you take from?
It would have pained me to hate it, but I don't think I would have hated it, but I was nervous. I was nervous about what could have happened. Yeah.
Right. Like how it could have been handled poorly.
Yeah.
The material. I mean, it's a massive risk for a filmmaker to take on something like this. Massive. Yeah.
Huge.
Because there's no real, like, unless you knock it out of the park, there's no real win, honestly, because everyone's going to have an opinion anyway. There's been a lot of criticism about different things. Some of it's relating to, you know, why aren't all the actors Greek? I mean, okay. Are you going to find the number? The cast is huge. The cast is huge. That's just silly, because you're obviously going for this level of film. You're going for your top actors, you know, currently, because that's who you need to carry a film at this level.
You need to find someone from Ithaca, right? To play, right? Like, I mean, this is absurd, right? Like,
right.
That it's okay for it to be like a Northern European, right? Of something like Matt Damon with Northern European descent, like that's okay. But like, you know,
there was some crazy criticism on like actor choices, but also the funnier thing is like it not being historically accurate. And I'm like, do they understand it is fiction?
Right.
It's not actually, you know, we don't have any evidence of an actual Cyclops.
Yes.
Like things like that. Like,
you know what? I'll take this one step further.
Yeah.
a wonderful detail of the text that Nolan preserves, and I don't know whether he did this knowingly or not. An incredible detail of the text is that, so Odysseus, by the time Odysseus comes home, he's the only one from his crew, right? So there's one person.
Yeah.
Odysseus is telling the story of his wanderings
Right.
to the Phaeacians. So anything we know about the Cyclops, Scylla and Charybdis, Circe,
Right.
Hades, there is literally one person telling the story with
Right.
absolutely no other people to verify any of the claims that he's making. So even within the Homer,
There are no flock cameras.
and so like, you know, the history of it is like, there's this fascinating point in the Odyssey itself where Homer, right? Homer, obviously the storyteller and the oral tradition of the different people who compose, like Homer used loosely as the creators of
Right.
the Odyssey story. They were knowingly making a story. Their main character is now making a story. They know what goes into making a story.
Is the narrator. Yeah.
The audience feels it as real, but I invented it, right? And that thing with Odysseus is like in the text, in Nolan's version as well. All of the details are told by Matt Damon, not to the Phaeacians, but to Calypso. This is a small change he makes for, I think, partially for convenience. But I mean, it's not, he doesn't draw attention to it, but there is the sense of like all of the magic and figures, it can't be verified by anyone else. And you'll notice in the film that when Odysseus is having his interactions with Athena, it's made clear that no one else is seeing Athena.
Right.
So the question to like, what of these things are Odysseus's retelling and imaginative story that captures what he experienced on his way home versus real monsters and adventures? That's also kind of there in the film and was also in the text. So like the point about history is like,
Right.
yes, we have a history of the actual story, but then the story itself questions like what is possible, what is a history, and is there a difference between my history, my autobiography, versus my story of what happened, and which one is more truthful to a listener and an audience?
And there's a big difference between a biography and an autobiography.
Oh yeah.
And an autobiography oftentimes is not going to be as accurate as a well-researched biography, but also, regardless of who's writing it, you're going to have a perspective and your own perspective,
Exactly.
which is going to have flaws. So
And-
yeah, Jordan had just said, is he a reliable or unreliable narrator? And we don't know. We have
Well, I
no way
think
to answer that.
You know, the wonderful thing is that that's a question in the text. You know,
Right.
Odysseus is the greatest liar and storyteller.
Right.
But there's also this wonderful phrase in the Greek that's very hard to translate, which is that Odysseus spoke many true things through his web of falsehoods.
Oh,
You know, so that's what fiction is. If you think about
Right.
it, if every fiction is a lie from the perspective of reality of what
Right.
actually happened. But can it have more truth than certain realities that we do experience? I mean, I think many people have experienced, yes, that stories, lies can have more truth in them than reality. And so, you know, there's these questions are all sort of really there as questions in the text, which is one of the things that makes the Odyssey incredible.
it's amazing that, it still has such a hold at, this, after centuries.
Yeah.
And that we have pieces from that still, that we talk about, Scylla and Charybdis, where did I learn, where did that term get cemented in my head? The police, from wrapped around your finger. Like, it's like, it's Sting putting it into his
Yeah.
writing of lyrics, you know what I mean? It's like, it still has these rock and a hard place for those who need a different translation to it. There are phrases that we still use from Homer today that most people don't know where that came from because it's become part of our language and our things we just say. And as you were talking, that popped in my head. But it's all those, that to me is what I think is most amazing. And that I love seeing that we have this new version of it. Fiction is a lie through which we see the truth. That's, yeah. I mean, and everything's perception. Everything's perception. Just like you were talking about Emily Wilson's approach to it's through her perception of,
yes.
You know what I mean? She's still going to have her take on it.
And this is where it's really interesting. And it's like, I think, that to me, Emily Wilson is a good example of, there are falsehoods that are not true, right? Like there are fictions and lies that are untrue. And that's a deep question. Like, if it's true that fiction and story can convey truth, but they can also be a falsehood and something that distorts the truth. The question of what makes it true, right? If a fiction can sometimes, and a story can sometimes be false and misleading, and other times be true and illuminating, what's the difference, right? Like and I don't want to harp on it too much, but I would set that out as an interesting version of the question, where it's that both Emily Wilson and Christopher Nolan make choices in how to translate and interpret and bring the thing to life. My experience is that Nolan does something that is what I think is true to the spirit of the thing as I understand it. Emily Wilson seems to me to be twisting the spirit of it in a way that I think is indefensible. But that's, people can deal with that question themselves. I'm influenced by being able to look at the Greek and just be able to say, no, like you said, Odysseus failed to bring his companions home. The text literally, this is page 1. The text literally says they failed through their own impiety of eating the cattle that they were forbidden to eat, right? Like, it's just to blame, to give the verb failure, to attribute that to Odysseus is just literally false in the language, right? It's
interesting.
And so that to me is where why, and then when you see a consistent pattern, right, of where everything seems like it's twisted to make the person seem worse, you start to the simplest explanation is that the person wants him to appear bad, right? Like, so the question of why that would be the case, right, like is a deeper intentional question. But I just think as a fact, it's pretty clear from page 1.
I'm really curious to see, I haven't looked at this, but I'm really curious to see book sales after this, to see if there's a spike, to see if people actually do decide to read. I would assume so, but I haven't looked.
It has to already be happening. It's funny if you go to your Roku or whatever and just look at the movies people are watching. It's like Troy is the most.
Troy keeps popping up on my recommended.
And Interstellar and all the Nolan films, which is really, really fun to see. And fun fact is that Nolan was in line to do Troy.
Oh, that's funny.
Years ago, early on in his career, and it ended up he was almost to the finish line. It ended up going to someone else, and he did Batman Begins instead, and just sort of this totally different path.
Probably a good thing. I mean, Troy's very different. It
is very different, and
there's a lot of people complaining. I'm seeing those comparisons too, and people saying that some of the Troy choices are better and blah blah blah. But it's again you're still dealing with unreliable. Some people saying, "Oh, it's more historically accurate," and it's again, you don't know that. You weren't there. You can't. What are you even talking about? We're talking about a lot of fiction and storytelling passed down from centuries. We don't know what's really real. It's all perception. Very interesting. There's a couple funny comments in here, like this one, Jordan, I have something like people who are upset that others spoiled the ending of the Titanic for them. I hate Titanic. This is, and I'm gonna, I have said this since the day I saw it. And one of the things that cracked me up the most was people crying in the theater. And I'm like, you guys didn't know how this was going to end? Like, hello? Like, what? You didn't know the boat was going to sink? And also what really bugged me was like, there was plenty of room on that door. Come on, Jack. Give me a break. Move over. So anyway, but like, there's always these things that like, oh, it's not historically accurate, all those kinds of things that people always complain about. But it's really funny. But this was another question, and I don't know if you have an answer for this, which is harder to translate to screen, the Odyssey or Lord of the Rings. I'd say the Odyssey, but I don't really know. Because, in Lord of the Rings was done over how many, how many movies? It was multiple. So you've got 3, right? You got a trilogy plus the Hobbit series. So there's more room to tell the story. Oh, I think you muted, Tim.
Yeah, sorry, there's a fire truck outside. I think the challenge, I mean, I don't like, obviously haven't made any films, so I couldn't say from the director perspective, but I do think one of the challenges of the Odyssey is that it is both a magical adventure and a like deeply human and social psychological story. And not to say that the Lord of the Rings doesn't have both elements. I think it does, but there are really this sort of like an extremely sensitive human story and a fantastic story in the same thing. And the Odyssey is also itself, it takes place over a long period of time, but the storytelling, the time of the Odyssey jumps all around in a way that was like, Aristotle famously claimed in the Poetics that like the Odyssey is a great example of something that should never be put on stage. So Aristotle was writing about Greek drama, and he said the Odyssey is like, makes it obvious that some things should be reserved for written stories, because it's like self-evidently impossible to bring like the span of time and the jumps of time and the storytelling and character development of the Odyssey onto a stage, right? And so I think that this is like this, I have fun with this sort of like, this is Nolan taking on that challenge.
Aristotle.
Right? Can we prove Aristotle wrong? I do think Aristotle, if he had access to the technology of film, would think differently about this.
I think he's correct in thinking about it from that perspective of stage.
Right. But the spirit of it is true, is that like it's an example of like the hardest challenge. And so I think that
the book is always better. The book is always richer. Like it doesn't matter. Like you can only do so much in your translation to a screen because you're talking about a much shorter period of time.
I would say that these are both, for me, these are both great. They're one, like the original Homer and the Nolan they're both great, and we don't even necessarily need to claim that one is better or worse. They're doing different things in different mediums, and I find that the Nolan thing, the strength of it is that because film can bring in visual and music, it's easier for many people to kind of feel the truth of something rather than having to understand it through words. And like, those are both very powerful things. And obviously the film has some beautiful dialogue and interesting words in it. But I think that they're kind of different medium or modes of reaching a truth. Movies being able to bring like the felt experience more to the forefront, which I think is really cool because it's accessible. It's really accessible for people who may not have the patience or the interest to try to understand all the same ideas through words. And I just think,
well, I think we have like a, the attention level of current society is so challenged to begin with that even the 3-hour movie is rough for a lot of folks. But I think it's still bringing people in, which is great.
This pendulum can swing back, and I think people, I worked with students for many years when I was in education, and just that the seeds of interest that are planted when people are young, or even if you're not young and you watch this and you're like, hey, maybe, I've been wanting to read something. Maybe I will just go look at the Odyssey. Like, I loved that film so much. And it can be unexpected what plants the seed to make people interested to go deeper into something. And my thought is like I've noticed that kids don't like that. They're aware that their attention spans are shorter. They're aware of all the things that social media is doing to the way they experience the world, and they crave somehow like the total opposite of that, like be totally IRL, like be totally away from your phone, do something like read the book and talk about it instead of, use any technology. So I think these things are going to,
and I've seen that directly with my son, of him watching, movies and classic movies, not just current, not just, Marvel, 100%. But The Godfather and things like that.
Like craving. It's like an antidote,
which is great.
It's amazing. I think that people can feel something is unnatural, and that's why I think it's funny. Kind of, we all worry about it for them, but they're figuring it out. Like the people who are inside of this are figuring it out. So I'm optimistic about this being a part or a step in what can swing people back into interests and maybe reading some of these texts themselves.
Yeah.
And speaking of reading, I wanted I picked out one passage from oh my God,
I love this.
The translation, the Lattimore translation.
Look at how loved that is, by the way.
It's falling apart.
This isn't something you've read through once.
Right. I think I've had this copy for like 15 years. So one of the criticisms, one of the criticisms of Nolan is that classicists are sort of criticizing Nolan for inserting this idea that Odysseus is driven by his guilt, grief, and remorse for what he did in the Trojan War, that he contributed the trick of the Trojan horse that led to the sacking of a beautiful city, like full of people that we love, like, Hector and Andromache. And like, we get to know the Trojans and they're people who we love, and then we see them destroyed. Nolan makes this a driving element of Odysseus's character. And there's been a lot of criticism that that is Nolan's Christianizing of the story, that he's made Odysseus, this raw Greek hero, into a figure that that is not there at all in the text. And so I wanted to read just a little piece of the Lattimore translation, just so you can see how beautiful the words are. But that I think is the strongest counterpoint to people who say that isn't in the text at all. And so this is a moment where Odysseus, it's before he started telling his story. He's with civilization for the first time. He's the only man. He landed on this raft. He's with the Phaeacian people. He's in this big banquet. He hasn't been around other people in years, right? He's been trapped on this island with a goddess, trying to make his way home. He's now in civilization again. He's at a banquet. There's a singer. The singer is singing about the stratagem great Odysseus filled once the horse with men and brought into the city. And it was he and these men who sacked sacred Troy. So the singer is singing about the sacking of Troy. Here's what Homer says about Odysseus. So the famous singer sang his tale, but Odysseus melted. And from under his eyes, the tears ran down, drenching his cheeks. As a woman weeps lying over the body of her dear husband, who fell fighting for her city and people, as he tried to beat off the pitiless day from city and children. She sees him dying, gasping for breath, and winding her body about him, she cries high and shrill, while the men behind her, hitting her with the spear butts on the back of her shoulders, force her up and lead her away into slavery, to have a life of hard work and sorrow. And her cheeks are racked with pitiful weeping. Such were the pitiful tears Odysseus shed from under his brows. But they went unnoticed by all the others. Except Alcinous alone understood what he did and noticed, since he was sitting next to him and groaning heavily. At once he spoke aloud to the oar-loving Phaeacians. Hear me, you leaders of council. Let Demodocus now give over his loud lyre playing, since it cannot be that he pleases all of us alike with this song.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah,
and so that totally speaks to what you're, the criticism there.
And it's a moment, right? So it's it's very subtle, like the way that Homer establishes Odysseus's grief isn't by Odysseus giving loud, explicit soliloquies about how guilty he felt for the role that he played in what happened to Troy. But the action of his weeping, and I think the beautiful thing, right, like the Homeric simile is this way of just as the woman,
right,
who Odysseus, the butts of those spears were Odysseus. That was Odysseus's spear, right? That was pushing these women and children into slavery of the towns like Troy that he was responsible for sacking. Just like those actual tears that she experienced, just like that, were his tears. And so I think that this is like such an artful and beautiful way of showing what it means for the victor and the victim, or the conqueror and the conquered. What does it mean for them to what does it mean? What would it mean to have compassion or empathy or guilt or grief from what was done? And I think the thing about Odysseus is that, like, Odysseus never wanted to go to the war. Nolan says it well, and this is very true. Like, Odysseus didn't want to be there, right? He's a little island. He only has 12 ships. Everybody else has hundreds. They need him, and they need his mind and his abilities, but he doesn't want to be there. He never wanted to go in the first place. And it's a beautiful story of the things that necessity and survival can ask of us, and how we come to terms with what role we play, and things that we wish we wouldn't have done and wish we never would have been a part of. And so again, this isn't like Odysseus is still a very a very complex and difficult character. But to me, this single passage shows that for Nolan is it false for Nolan to take something that beautiful and make it the very heart of the story, right, in an explicit way that can land with audiences? Like, I think that it's a brilliant move. It's a brilliant interpretation, and to make that thematic and a focus is not at all contradictory to the text. Even, so it's a classicist saying, well, that's 5 lines, and he makes it like the heart of the show. It's like, well, those 5 lines might be most important than another 5,000, right? Like, I mean, that's where the sort of beauty of the vision and the insight come in.
This has been amazing, Tim. Oh my God.
So
I think you should be doing a whole course on this, honestly, because I would take that course.
Well, you know what? I've run, so I run weekly reading groups, just sort of like interesting.
I know,
people
yeah.
that I've met in the city in person.
You were doing that for a while on Farcaster.
I did it for years. I did it for
all these different ones,
for
Play-Doh,
decades.
and
We've
yeah,
done the
all this.
Odyssey. I've done the Odyssey and reading groups probably 5 or 6 times. So I have this whole crew of people that I've actually like studied the Odyssey with, and we're actually getting together to do one of our reading groups about the film, right? So we've all read the Odyssey together, and we're going to do like a group together.
Amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think revitalizing some of the Odyssey reading groups online maybe would be something fun while everybody's excited about it.
Yeah, for sure. Adrian, anything you want to ask or say, or before we let Tim
I will
go?
just say, earlier, before the summer, I think I was asking for summer reading recs. And Tim jumped in. And he's like, you should read the Odyssey. And here's my favorite translation. And it was Lattimore's. And I was like, great idea. And because I am super excited to see the movie. I haven't seen it yet. And I'm with you. I think did we read it in 9th grade? Probably. Is that like
I read it in 9th. I'm not sure, but that was I specifically remember. Yeah,
9th grade is like the time.
I have like a vague memory, but I don't even know if I like really got it back then. It was probably easier to read. I'm not a big
I remember disliking it. In 9th grade. Oh God, this is so boring.
I don't remember an opinion one way or the other, but I remember like pieces of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember certain plot lines. I was like, oh, so I was down the shore a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh, perfect. I've got a beach day. I'm going to pull it on my Kindle and read. And holy cow, all these people who say they're reading it when they have not, or they are not used to reading like poetry or ancient Greek, like, or not familiar with the plot, I'm calling bullshit. It's really hard to just pick up and read. Because I was like, just reading the introduction. I was like, I'll just read the introduction. So dense. And I'm like, oh, forget the introduction. I'm going to go right to the meat of it. And I was like, I don't know what I'm reading. I'm going to take your advice and watch the movie first so I can get like refreshed in kind of the events. And then I was like, and I think I need a tutor or a reading group because
See, this is what's great about a reading group.
A little slower, I think.
Yeah, and do it in pieces and talk about it, because then you probably get a lot more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, and it's a motivation, right? Like if some part of it is dragging, well, it's like, well, I want to talk about this with the people that I like, and it keeps you moving through the thing, and it becomes so much more interesting when you do things with a reading group. You know, when it's an actual discussion and not like a excuse to have like some wine or something, right? Like I
feel attacked right now.
Right. No, which is fine. Like have some
There's
wine.
a difference between a reading group and a book club.
Yes. So right, exactly. So it's like that's also fun. But like when you're doing the thing, one of my favorite part about it is discovering things that seemed obvious to me in the interpretation, and then everyone around the table is like, "What are you talking about?" Like I don't. Seeing the things that to you were obvious, but no one else agrees with, and then you're like, wow, I didn't realize that I was making an interpretation. I didn't realize that I was having an insight until I saw this different perspective or saw that no one agreed with what I said. And it's such an illuminating way to engage with texts that are worth reading.
Right. That's really interesting. I think so many of us in kind of the tech world become a little literal. Like you want things to be so literal. So it's probably such a good practice to do the like, oh, there are different interpretations. Oh, like I read something that I took as fact because that's how I see. And then someone else has a like completely different fact.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm so happy you liked the movie. I can't wait to see it. I literally was like, Prof and I were like just dying to get you on to talk about it.
And I didn't want to wait anymore. Yeah, I didn't want to wait too long because I kind of wanted to get your thoughts so I think I'll appreciate it more now that I heard your thoughts on it So I'm glad I haven't seen it yet. I think that's good.
I'm like, come on for 15 minutes, 15 minutes and tell us your take on the movie.
An hour later.
This is amazing.
I think it's like, I mean, I honestly think that it's hard to not enjoy it. Like, I think you've got to have like a little bit of a some kind of a thorn in your side of some kind to come away from the experience and actively dislike it. You know, it's possible to do, but I mean, there has to be some kind of, it feels to me that there's likely some kind of like deeper, because it's just a fun and interesting experience. Like, just as a human storytelling, you know, Nolan does such a great job. And so I think a lot of the people who dislike it, they either have their own interpretation or idea that they developed like classicists over a long period of time and are just trying to defend it, right? Or they just, you know, want to be snobby and contrarian, and you know, like, but I think that anybody who's going into it with an open spirit, like, you're seeing something really just worth spending time with and fun and pleasurable as a human experience. So I've no doubt you're going to love it. And what will be fun is to come back and talk about the things that resonated and didn't. And, you know, like, one thing I would love to get into is with people so I saw it with my parents, and when I first saw it, I saw it with my parents, and I've been trying to, you know, talk to my parents about the books that I love for a long time. And afterwards, for 2 hours, my mom is peppering me with questions of like, well, you know, why is Menelaus the one who married Helen when she's the most beautiful and Agamemnon's like more powerful? So like, why did that happen? And, you know, did this really happen in the text? You know, and I was getting into like the differences of, you know, here's how it happened in the text, and like Nolan did it this way. And it was just like the interest that she had from having this compelling experience. It created an interest in the original text. And it was like the first time that I was really able to engage with my parents around this thing that I love. You know, so for me on a personal level, it was just super.
That's really cool.
Special. But I think as an anecdote, right, is like, that's what I think is able to happen on like a larger social scale, is that something like this that captures the spirit and love of the original, it opens up a dialogue with that. And I think not just that, but with, hey, I wonder if there are other great stories from history that are equal. Like, if this is so amazing, like, what else am I missing? You know? And so I think there's just it was such a really a service to culture. What Nolan did.
I'm really excited I think I'm going to see it. My son said he'd be willing, he wants to go again. So I think I'm going to see it with him, and I'm excited to have those conversations afterwards too. Like, you know, and so that's
amazing. I mean,
he went with his friend, you know, he went with his bunch of his friends, his buddies, and he's like, he said, you know, there was 4 of them, and 3 of them really liked it, and there was one contrarian. He's like, he just hates everything. It was just
there you go. Yes, he just like wants to hate everything for sure.
He just wants to be different.
Like that. And you know, it would be interesting. I think with your son too, it's like that. It'll be. I'm interested in what are the 11 above it, and I'm also interested in like, you know,
I gotta get his list for you.
His list is going to evolve, you know, because you rewatch things, you have life experiences, and like then the list changes, and it's always this thing of you know, that really great art. You know, there's stuff there are films that I have disliked the experience, but then they stay with me for a long time, right? And so this is the other interesting thing, is like, you have the pleasure and interest of the original experience, but will the film resonate with you as you have other experiences in your life? Will you come back to it? Will it raise questions later? Does it make a lasting impression?
I have certain films that I watch at least once a year.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. There's the rewatching, and then there's
some of them you know of, but I only watch them at Christmas. Hello, Die Hard.
But-
But like other things like The Godfather, I watch that at least once a year. I watch, there's certain ones that anytime it's, just pops up on my screen, I'm going to watch it.
Yes.
But there's, certain classics like that.
I'm already scheming.
Yeah.
Like I'm how many times I'll see Odyssey in theaters.
Yeah.
Like I'm betting 5.
And this is one of those ones like you got to go see on a big screen. Like there's just certain ones.
For sure.
I've seen Star Wars a zillion times, like every Star Wars, every iteration. I've seen it in theaters multiple times, things like that. So there's certain films that I always like, want to see on big screens.
Okay, so we'll do our sequel.
All right.
You guys see the film.
We got to do this again. Yeah. We got to do this again. We'll have to do a special, let's pull people in, who, specifically for this. We'll have to do it. This has been amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so much for taking the time. We really.
No, this is fun. We can do our own little reading group on the film.
I would love that. That would be incredible.
Okay,
so thank you so much. And I'm just looking forward to continuing to see your commentary on it as you think of other things and share on the timeline. And I'm paying attention. So I appreciate it. Anything else, Adrian, before we let Tim go?
If you bring Bracky back as a personal agent, please make sure you tell him that we love him and we miss him and we want to know how he's doing.
And make sure he knows everything about the Odyssey and he can answer questions. There you go. Bracky's new now. All new. He's all about the Odyssey.
Good to see you guys.
All right. Thanks,
Great to
Tim.
see you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. That was amazing. Tim Riley is one of my favorite people, like just period, full stop.
I know people who only know him as Bracky. Do they know?
They don't even know. Now they do. Now they know. By the way, we've had we right now 928 people watching this. And for the last hour, we've been talking about the Odyssey and Greek translations and amazing. So thanks for hanging with us, folks.
I
we had
think
story
a lot
time.
Oh yeah.
Totally. We should do a GM Farcaster book club. Really quick, because Jordan, your berserker, jumped back in and jumped in our little private chat. He just randomly distributed 3 warplets to our hyper sub holders. So go look for it. And TLDR won the first one. Shoot, I forgot. I didn't tell him. Oh, shoot, I didn't even notice that part. So thank you. I didn't even notice that part. I was like, thank you. We'll announce before we wrap, and I forgot. I didn't tell Tim. So we'll let Tim know because that's awesome. But this has been amazing, and I'm so glad we got Tim on. I really didn't want to wait. We already had a guest today. We're like, it's going to go long. And we just went, whatever, because we just wanted to get Tim on while things were fresh and when people were still, not everybody's seen it yet, and just keep that conversation going. So go see the Odyssey and get ready for more combos about it, because that was awesome.
All right.
That's awesome.
I can't wait to see it. And I am really excited to see the film.
So excited. And we are back on Monday. Are we regular time on Monday? I can't remember.
We are back on Monday, regular time, 11:30 Eastern. We do have a guest.
Oh, that's right.
Alaskan Magpie.
Alaskan Magpie. And we're going to be talking about their new gaming hub, which looks really cool. So yay, that's going to be fun. Yeah. Very fun. All right. So thanks for hanging with us. I know some of you have been hanging with us for literally 2 hours, over 2 hours. So thank you all. And we will see you Monday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. We're off for the rest of the week because Adrian's doing some traveling and I'm traveling back home. So this is my last time in janky setup with the Victorian gentleman staring at me. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go look at my profile and you'll see him staring. He's staring at me right now. So goodbye to Victorian gentlemen, and we'll see you on Monday. And until then, everybody, bye-bye. Thanks for joining us for this episode of GM Farcaster. And thank you to all our partners and Hypersub supporters bringing this episode to you. Follow the GM Farcaster channel for all the latest updates and add our mini app on Farcaster and the base app. Until next time, bye-bye.